Hey ladies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Aisha. I'm a certified trauma-informed coach and manifestation guide. And today's video is going to be about detachment. Ooh, detachment. It is a sensitive topic. It is a controversial topic. You hear people who have very opposing views on this. So I am going to relate today's video of detachment into my manifestation of my husband. So, for those of you who don't know, I am married, and even before I was married, I was seeking a partner. I got divorced in 2021, and so I had a plethora of experience of what not to do in relationships. I had a ton of emotional baggage, a bunch of drama, trauma, all of that from childhood, from different relationship dynamics, and I was in several emotionally abusive dynamics, toxic dynamics, however you want to label them. They were not good for my mental health. They were not safe for me to be in, and all they did was perpetuate my trauma. Now, understanding that from a perspective of manifestation, well, I could only manifest the quality of relationships that reflected the quality of my relationships in childhood until I healed my wounds. So before I get into the actual topic of detachment, I'm going to talk about attachment styles. And this is relevant because how we attach ourselves to our desires is what is blocking us or encouraging us to bring about our manifestation. So for me, I had an anxious attachment style primarily. However, the deeper underlying attachment style was disorganized. So I would say I had an anxious leaning disorganized attachment style. If you don't know what either of those are, not to worry, I'm going to get into them a little bit. We have a secure attachment, which basically means you're good to go. You know how to have a relationship dynamic where you can communicate in a healthy way. You can set boundaries for yourself and enforce those boundaries. And I will do another video on boundaries because it is not what you think they are. And you basically know how to sustain yourself within a healthy relationship because you have a healthy relationship with yourself. If you are anxiously attached, that likely means that you feel like you need to control the person, place, or thing you're attached to. You need to control the outcome. You need to be able to decide how that goes in order for you to feel good. So the person has to treat you a certain way for you to feel happy. The circumstances have to be exactly this way or you will be sad, you will have a meltdown, you will feel depressed. And so you tend to get really into all the details and create meaning out of nothing. And the anxious person chases. The anxious person is a doer. They're trying to be hands-on. They're trying to solve all the problems. They're literally trying to control everything by taking an active role. Sometimes this is considered an imbalanced masculine if you are a female, or it can be an overdevelopment of your masculine energy or an underdevelopment of your feminine energy, or in my case, it was both. Then there is the avoidant attachment style, which those are the ones who run away. So the problem feels so big, they feel overwhelmed by it, they get anxiety, and instead of acting out of the anxiety in a controlling way, their method of control is withdrawal. So they will withdraw from the situation. They will run from the situation. They will turn a blind eye. They will distract themselves. They will basically do anything to avoid the conflict of the situation or facing the situation head on as a means of control. So they're both doing the same thing. They're both attempting to create a result that makes them feel safe. Avoidants tend to have a learned behavior of avoiding the situation because they feel powerless to change it. And ironically, that's the same thing as an anxious person. They deep down feel powerless to change it, and therefore they're trying to force the change. Excuse me, my nose is itchy. I just put lotion on my face. And then we have the disorganized attachment style, which it's kind of like it's like a big soup of all of them, right? So the disorganized person will sometimes feel safe and secure with certain people or in certain scenarios. And when they don't feel that safety, they will either become anxious or avoidant, oftentimes switching between the two because the relationship with their caretaker in childhood taught them that they can't rely on love, and yet at the same time they're deeply craving it. So innately as human beings, we are creatures of community. We are designed to live in villages. We are designed to have a familial unit. We are not here to live life alone. Hence why we pair up in companionship, and why we have friend circles, and why it is actually scientifically proven that when you have 3 generations in a house, which is like your grandparents, the parents, and the children under one household, the outcomes in terms of depression, anxiety, financial security, emotional security, all improve when you have 3 generations living together. That is because that's how we're designed. So if in childhood, at any point you learned that your caretakers, your providers were not safe for you, or were not able to meet your needs, you developed one of these 3 attachment styles that are a coping mechanism. So first and foremost, we have to understand they are a coping mechanism. You needed to learn those behaviors to survive the environment you were brought up in, so please don't shame yourself for them. Please don't try to force yourself to change or see that as a problem that needs to be fixed. It is something that can create issues that needs to be addressed. You need to become aware of it, and you need to choose to accommodate your needs and maybe get rid of some limiting beliefs that are causing friction. However, it doesn't mean you are a problem. That attachment style fundamentally was only formed to keep you safe, to keep you alive, to keep you thriving in a likely toxic environment. So thank your nervous system for doing its job and prepare for the next level. So all that little tangent there, we had a little mini lesson there. When it comes to detachment, we have to understand if we want to detach, we need to be aware of our attachment style, because detachment is the opposite of that attachment style. So I want to talk about detachment as secure attachment. Secure attachment means I want this thing, I want this person, I want this experience, but I'm also totally okay if it doesn't happen. I am 100% secure within myself, able to control my emotions, able to discipline myself in any situation, in any circumstance, to go on to create the experience I want to create, even if in the moment it doesn't go my way. And that's something that anxious, avoidant, and disorganized attachment styles cannot do. They cannot detach. And so what this leads to is putting your power into that circumstance, or giving your power to that person, that relationship dynamic. And that's the opposite of what we want to do if we want to manifest, especially if what we're trying to manifest is a person. So, flashback 2021, divorce, getting out of an unsafe environment. I manifested a path out. I had, finally come back to my faith as a Christian in that year. I guess it just took me a long time to admit that to myself, but in hindsight, that's what happened. And, in finding my faith and finding manifestation, things really started to make sense to me. So it was 4 years ago that I learned about manifestation, and within that first year of me learning about manifestation, I rekindled my relationship with God. And this was before reverting to Islam, so I rekindled my relationship with God. I started losing weight. I was able to save up and start earning my own money. I started my very first coaching business. There was so much momentum in that. And what it was is I learned detachment without being conscious of detachment. What was actually happening is I was hitting rock bottom and I was feeling so defeated that I just gave up. And it was in those moments that I gave up that I also gave up resistance. And resistance, this is gonna be a really knowledge information packed video, so bear with me, but resistance is any belief or thought or emotion or nervous system response that you have that is blocking the flow of goodness coming to you. So if you have a belief that you can't do it, that it's not going to happen for you, that's resistance. If when you start to welcome goodness in your life and you feel a physical tensing in your body because your nervous system says this isn't safe, that is resistance. If when good things happen to you, you talk down to yourself and you say, I don't actually deserve this, this is too much, this is too good for me, that is resistance. So when I gave up on the desire, when I detached from it because I had given up emotionally, I was exhausted, that's when those things manifested. And I know it doesn't make logical sense. And especially if you're an anxiously attached person, it's gonna be so uncomfortable for you to let go. But in letting go of my desire, right? So, and I don't even want to say I let go of my desire. I let go of the struggle for my desire. I let go of trying to manifest the desire. That's when it came in every single time. That's when I made my first sale in my business. That's when I was able to network with like-minded women who understood what I was going through. That's when I was able to manifest friends who helped me to get out of a toxic and unsafe relationship. That's when I was able to manifest a living situation with family so that I could move out of that apartment. Like all of the goodness that happened to me was because I was so desperate and so low. I basically was just like, God, if there's a time that you're gonna prove to me that you're real, that you're here for me, now is it, because I've hit rock bottom. I'm giving up. I'm giving up. And so let's fast forward. It's 2023. I've done a ton of self-work. I have lost, I think by the time I met my husband, I lost maybe 50 pounds already, maybe 40 to 50 pounds already. So I had already created significant weight loss. I had to buy clothes 2 times by the time I met him. I was going to the gym. I was eating as well as I could. I moved myself from one state to another by myself. I didn't have any friends. I didn't have a support system. I was doing it purely based on faith. And when I met my husband, 3 days prior to meeting him, I completely let go. And I was like, you know what? Whether I ever meet the right man or not, whether I ever get married or not, I'm gonna be okay. Like, I prayed 3 nights prior to meeting him, and I was basically like begging God. I was like, please, please save me from this space. But part of that prayer was me letting go. Part of that prayer was me sort of being in such a hopeless state about my desire that I was like, you know what? I have to be at peace. I have to just put my desire out there. I've made my prayer. God has taken my order. Let's just see. And I realized in hindsight, I detached from the need to have my desire. I detached from the need to meet a man. I detached from the need to be in a partnership. And I detached from the need to try for it, to pursue it. And because I detached, it manifested in 3 days. The day I met my husband, I was working at my new job and I was like eating a nice lunch and just enjoying the park that I had just found because I was new to the area. And it was sunshiny and I was listening to music and podcasts that day and I was enjoying myself and I was just feeling so proud of myself for how far I had come already and how much success I had created for myself already, that I wasn't concerned with meeting a man. And because I detached from that desire, that's when he came in. And he came running into my life. Like, I was not prepared. I mean, I was prepared, but like, I was not ready for how quickly that manifestation would come in, because I had switched my state of mind from, oh, I really want to be in a relationship, like, I've done so much work on myself, I think I'm ready, like, God, send me the right man, like, please, 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 I'm tired of going this alone. Not that I felt like I needed a man consciously, but I must have energetically been craving that for me to be energetically also pushing that manifestation away. And so when I let go, when I detached, gosh, he just came running right in. And then here's the thing, because we can only heal so much outside of a relationship, when I did manifest him in, like in the courting phase, right? Like, I got triggered. And so I was energetically pushing him away, because him coming in triggered my anxious attachment. It triggered those wounds that I couldn't heal on my own, but I could heal in partnership, because your partner, your SP, your husband, the person you choose to do life with, they are your best mirror. They are going to mirror you like nobody else can. They're going to show you all the wounding, all the patterns, all the insecurities that you have, so that you can heal them. And so I got triggered, and I self-abandoned a little bit. And when you self-abandon as a result of prioritizing your manifestation, of course that can do no good. So we went through several cycles of like me pursuing and trying to make the relationship this perfect ideal, because I had been divorced, I had failed in relationship before, I had done everything wrong, I had been in a toxic pattern, I was projecting my wounding onto this person. And through those experiences, I realized, oh my goodness, I can't believe that I did that. I was realizing, wow, this is all my fault. What am I doing? Am I insane? Have I lost my marbles? But no, I was being triggered so that I could heal those wounds. And so to get him from this getting to know each other stage, this, dating, courting stage, to being my husband, I had to resolve those wounds in me first, because he was ready to marry me, and I wasn't ready to commit into a marriage, because I knew I still had work to do. I knew that I was not the ideal person to be married, and I knew if I didn't handle those wounds that I would be self-sabotaging. Sorry, the blinds here are trying to hit my phone. Okay. Anyways, I knew that I wasn't ready to fully commit to that manifestation, because I felt like I still had work to do. And you can say that that is a limiting belief or whatever, but no, I just wanted to be the best version of myself, because I looked at that man and I was like, I want him. I want to keep that one. I want to keep that one forever. I want him to be mine. I want to share him. I want to be everything that he needs in a woman, so that he can feel loved and nurtured and cared for and supported. And I'm going to be that. I'm going to be that. I will embody that as best as I humanly can, right? It was all pure and out of love and out of excitement and out of respect for him. So when I finally did start healing those wounds and started to raise in consciousness, I recognized that the reason we hadn't gotten married and the reason I didn't feel ready to be married is solely because I was still in that chasing, controlling energy. I was still in my anxious attachment. I was still trying to figure out, how can I make this the perfect relationship so that I never feel pain, so that I never feel scared, so that I never feel like he's gonna leave, I never feel like he's going to hurt me the way I've been emotionally wounded in the past. Oh my goodness, I look back at her and I'm like, bless you, girl. Bless you, and I'm so glad you got me here today, but I'm so glad you're gone. And so when I started to manifest him to be my husband, I would look at him and go, oh, that's my husband's hair. Those are my husband's legs. oh, look at my husband, you know, playing that instrument, or like, oh, look at my husband telling those jokes. Look at how good he is with people. Look at how sweet he is. Look at my husband is so kind. So I was already talking to myself, like seeing him as my husband. Anytime we spent time together, that's my inner narrative, was that he is my husband. But also, and this is even more important, is I was saying, I am the woman that he deserves, and I am a good woman, and I am healthy, and I am strong, and I'm a successful woman, and I'm doing wonderfully, and I've come so far, and look at me. So I took the focus off of the relationship and switched the focus to us. So I detached from the relationship desire. I detached from the status, from the messaging that marriage conveyed to me. And instead, I decided to just invest in changing my concept of myself, while also just calling him my husband. Basically, I was already saying those things before he was my husband, and I still say them now that he is my husband. Like, I still look at him and I'm go, ooh, dang, I'm a lucky woman. Like, ooh, you know, like I still say those things. So I was just practicing for this lifelong thing I'm going to do. Every time I see him, I'm like, wow, my husband is so beautiful. Like, every time he makes me laugh, wow, I'm so lucky that my husband is so funny and silly and wonderful to be around. Like, anytime he does something kind for me, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so lucky my husband takes care of me. Those were the things that when I said them, it's because I knew I would continue to say those things down the road. So they felt natural. They didn't feel forced. They didn't feel like I had to scramble to try to, oh my goodness, like manifest him. I have to try so hard. It wasn't like that at all. It was very easy. It was very calm. And the rest of the time, I was focused on myself. I was like, all right, girl, we're gonna make sure we're gonna continue losing weight. I've lost over 80 pounds now. Ooh, ooh, go me. I have created, you know, newfound success in my business. I am creating a course at the moment, which is on how to manifest marriage. Woo! So I will be dropping that course fairly soon. It is going to be a huge course. So it's very information packed. It is going to be a little bit on the higher ticket side of things. It's not going to be like $10,000. It's not crazy like that. But I will do payment options, all those good things. It will be launched soon. I have already released it to a couple of people to get their feedback, and they like it so far. And it is everything that I did to manifest my husband. Every little thing, all the details. It's going to be super jam-packed with information. So, shameless plug. So because I wasn't putting the desire on a pedestal, because I wasn't obsessing over making this marriage happen, that's when it happened. It was just flow. It was just ease. It was like, you know, I'm gonna be happy whether I have this man as my husband or not. I'm even gonna be happy if I have him in my life or not, but I want him. I like that one. I desire this man. I envision my life with this man. I can't even pretend like I can envision it without him. Like, I can try, and I know that eventually if he wasn't in my life, I would be fine. If we did not stay together, and up until this moment, I know that I would still be living, I would still be breathing, and I would still be Muslim. And what else can a girl ask for? And that's what caused it. It was letting go of this need, of this drive for control to try and force this manifestation to be. And instead just focusing on, like, how can I be happy now? How can I be grateful now? And a little sprinkle of Delulu, being like, oh, that is my husband already. That is the man I'm marrying. Like, oh, I'm so glad I married him. Like, man, I have the best husband in the world. You know what I mean? It was a sprinkle of that. Like, that was the salt, not the whole dish. The dish was loving myself. The dish was healing my wounds. The dish was becoming more aware of my shortcomings. Because if I think this man is so great, then I better think I'm just as great, or I'm always gonna feel insecure. I'm always gonna feel like there's an imbalance here, and it'll never work out. I will self-sabotage if I think he's better than me. So rather than trying to bring him down to my level, rather than trying to throw him off the pedestal or whatever, I put myself on a pedestal And I said, we're holding hands now. We're married now. Like, you're mine now. You know what I mean? I rose my own standards to meet him where he was at. And that's when it happened. When I started reinvesting in myself, when I realized that I had self-abandoned in this relationship and decided I'm not going to do that anymore because I'm worth it. I'm worth loving myself. So the key is detachment, but detachment doesn't mean you don't want the thing anymore. And detachment doesn't mean that you have to completely ignore it either. It was on my mind the whole time that I manifested marriage, that I manifested weight loss, that I manifested, I am almost at 6 figures in this business, so inshallah that will happen soon. You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking about these things, they are very much my goals, but I'm not trying to control it. So detachment is just about releasing control. It's about being secure within yourself. Therefore, you can be securely attached to your desires. I know this video was helpful. I know that it was jam-packed full of information. You may have to go back and watch it 2, 3, 4, 5 times to soak everything up. Take notes if you need to. Everything that I've covered will be even more in depth in the Manifest Your Marriage course. It's actually called Marriage Material Self-Concept course. So if you're really interested, you're welcome to email me below to get on the wait list, and you'll be the first to know when that course launches. It will be soon, 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 soon. I wish it were today. I do work a full-time job outside of running my business full-time, so any day now it's about to come out. If you do have any questions, or if you have any topics that you would like me to cover either on this channel or in the course, please, please, please comment down below. Here is a safe space. This is a community where women of faith and women who are spiritual and Muslim women, women of all walks of life can come together to understand manifestation on a deeper level, to become their best selves, to celebrate their life, to get what they want, to get the man of their dreams, to live the life that they want to live, that they deserve to live. So if that sounds like you are more than welcome to subscribe and stay tuned for more. Bless you, have a wonderful day, and I hope you get your manifestation soon. Bye.